What's going on, guys? We are back at it today. We have got Moha here. She is a 6-year-old appendix, and this is a horse that we've had for a few weeks, I want to say. And I'll give you a little bit of a backstory, but today's video is going to be kind of a riding 101 video. So we've got a beautiful afternoon here. We've been showing horses all day, and I wanted to spend some time this afternoon just doing riding 101. So this owner of this horse is going to be taking this girl back in several weeks from now. And my goal is for her to have a video when she goes home that she can kind of refer back to, just kind of analyze riding position, leg position, use of rein, riding posture, how to use your hands, things of that nature. So how do we signal and cue a horse the most effective way that we possibly can, and how do we handle them in the most effective way that we can, right? So today I'm going to cover in the beginning how we pick up feet with this horse, how I want this owner to be picking up feet when the horse goes home, how we saddle, and then how we get on, how we ride, our riding position, leg cues, things of that nature, how we get horses to turn, disengage the hip, step the forehand over, basic lateral movement, kind of, again, just that riding 101 stuff. But I also wanted to share it with you guys. So anybody out there that is working with a horse that is kind of just getting going, you're in the arena and you're trying to teach some of these basics, this is going to be a video that hopefully is going to help you guys along. Also, if you just want to improve your riding, maybe have always ridden predominantly with your hands and want to start integrating your pelvic bones, your seat, or your legs into your riding, this is a great video to watch as well. So this should be a fun one for you guys. And for my client, who's the owner of this horse, again, the purpose is for her to have something when the horse goes home that she can refer back to, and just kind of give her a blueprint of how to continuously move forward with positive experiences with this horse and good riding and communication. So with no further ado, we'll go ahead and do these feet. I'm going to first show you guys how to just pick up the feet. So if you want to come around here, Dylan, you can step right here. Yep. And sorry for the shadow, guys. It's just where the sun is. There's not much I can do about it. But first off, here to begin, I'm going to show you guys just how I go about picking up feet. So I'm always going to start on this left side. Left front is always going to be the easiest foot for a horse typically. So I'm going to go left front, left hind, right front, right hind. Okay. The reason that is if you think about an order of what is easiest, right, and what is hardest, the left front, and really the one that you start with and the one that you end with are really the most important. The reason being is the left side of a horse typically is their easier side, right? On probably 80% of horses, they are predominantly left-handed horses, better going to the left. Okay, so they are better on this side. Front feet are always better than hinds. So that means your left front is going to be the easiest, right? From the horse's perspective. So conversely, what's going to be your hardest foot? If right side is the easiest and front is the easiest, left side is easiest and front is easiest, then on the right side, the right hind should be the hardest foot, right? Because the right side is more tricky than the left and the hind foot is trickier than the front foot. So I'm always thinking about starting, especially on green horses, starting on the left side front and ending on the right hind. So I'm going to go left front, left hind, right front, right hind, okay? And the way that I'm going to pick these feet up is I'm just going to use my energy. I'm not going to be pulling and squeezing and pulling their foot up and all that crap, okay? All I'm going to do here is I'm going to tap real softly, okay? And I'm just going to wait and let her give it to me there, okay? When you guys clean feet, if I were cleaning these feet, they don't need to be cleaned. I am just going to see if there is rocks in these commissaries, okay? That is the main purpose you clean feet, okay? You do not want them walking on rocks. Just for the purpose of time, I'm going to go back here. We're going to go ahead and do the opposing hard foot, okay? So if we're doing this right hind now, the way that I'm going to approach it is the same. I'm just going to lightly tap here. Good, very nice. There, okay? And this is something that's important to mention, okay? You'll see farriers get in arguments and arm wrestling matches with horses because they are not paying attention to where is easiest for the horse to carry the foot. If I go out here, I feel tension, right? This horse wants to pull back, okay? Wants to pull the foot away. I am not, look at her, says, I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be out there, okay? This horse wants to be in this range, right? So when I'm thinking about cleaning feet, picking up feet, whatever it may be, I'm always thinking about how to make it comfortable for the horse, right? Conducive for them. Okay, so if she likes being right there, see, I'm holding it with one finger. That's about where it's comfortable for her. I'm going to come here, and I could hold it if I were to trim this horse between my legs. I've got the crook of my armpit holding this hock, can't pull back or kick. I would clean, do my trimming there. Let go. I would set it down, okay? But if you notice, I'm not in an arm wrestling match with this horse, right? She's not trying to pull her foot away and rear up and run off and do all this stuff, right? Good horsemanship really is about being introspective, thinking about what I can do to make this easiest for the horse, right? Ideally, what you're trying to figure out is how can I present my question so simply and so clearly that the only answer that the horse can see as an option is the right answer, right? That's in a nutshell what good horsemanship is. So without further ado, we'll move on to saddling. So there's picking up feet for you guys. When we saddle here, you can saddle either from the left side or the right side. Both is good, especially on young horses. You can see here, we've got our scapula here, okay? I want my pad, the front of my pad in front of that scapula, okay? I do not want the back here on the hip anywhere, okay? So I want, let's call it a hand's length from that hip, okay? When you put your saddle up here, I want more pad in the front than in the back. So I'm going to scoot my saddle, and this is one of our colt saddles or training horse saddles. I'm going to scoot it back so the back of this skirting is about to the back of that pad. Scoot it a little more here. And I've got the front here, right? I should have a gap here. You know, the majority of my pad should be in the front, not the back. The reason that is, I want as much ease of motion on this scapula. When this horse takes a step, the scapula approximately is going to rotate 3 to 4 inches back, okay? So I'm trying to use the shoehorn to help rotate that scapula and ease as much of that pressure as possible. Make sure you tent your pad, pick up your saddle, and pull it up into the gullet, okay? That is to promote airflow down the spine. If you notice, everything I do is by the front leg of the horse. I am always facing the hind, okay? I am never back here doing things because especially working with young horses, if they were to spook or get tight and they decide to move this hind leg, I'm most likely going to get either caught by it or cow kicked by it, okay? So just safety components. We'll go ahead and get our cinches down here. If you want to come over here, Dylan. This is called the cinch keeper, okay? This is what this little tab is for on all your saddles. Sometimes it's on the back here, but you just put your cinches through there, okay? So they can't go anywhere. Don't just throw them over your saddle. Okay, get them down here. And there we go. I'm gonna check everything. We gotta shorten this up. We were riding the saddle on a big horse this morning. Boom, that'll be good. Okay. Yeah, I'll lengthen them out here. Okay, guys. So when you are cinching, again, I'm up here by this front leg. I'm going to reach under. I'm going to keep an eye on this hind leg just in case for some reason they were to cow kick. Okay, I'm going to put my leathers through here. Come up. Come back through my rigging. Back through there. And I'm going to start cinching up. Okay, nice and easy here. We'll go to about there, just where there's enough tension to keep that saddle on for now, okay? You don't need to cut them in half right now. You're going to spend probably 3 or 4 times cinching them up until you get on, okay? Do not make them cinchy. Don't just go 50 holes the first time, okay? Back cinches, if you ride them, and we do on young horses for the most part, I'm going to have to adjust this. You can stay right there, Dylan. I'm just going to pull this up a little bit here. All I'm going to do is make sure that this back cinch is snug, okay? You do not want a loose back cinch, but I want it where it's barely just touching their stomach there, okay? You need to have a connector. I don't want this back cinch sliding back further than that, okay? So you need to have a connector there. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Okay, guys. That's saddling. We'll probably go ahead and just grab this girl. We'll take her in the arena. We'll shut the camera off for now and then turn it back on when we get to the arena. I'll show you guys how to get on safely, and then we'll start covering some basic riding. So we'll see you guys in a second. What's going on, guys? We're in the arena here, and before we get going on the riding portion, I just want to do some basic groundwork for this horse's owner that she can review, go back to, and continue to build those good habits with this horse with. So before we go any further, I do want to say we take a lot of pride in creating soft, fluid horses, and we do that through understanding and obviously language. We do not do that through yanking and spurring and kicking our horses or any of that crap. So I'm going to show you how we build some of this stuff, and for the owner, this is going to be, again, a video she can go back to and kind of just get some refreshers on. So to start, every young horse that we work with, this inside rein in the beginning, shifting my left leg back, right, needs to mean that left hind stepping under, okay? So what that's going to look like from the ground, right, when I ask this hind end, she needs to do this, okay? So she steps under softly, right? We're going to ask again. Good. We're going to change sides here. Good. Good. Okay. Guys, the reason you want this rein to always mean a horse's feet and not their head is if you've ever been run away with a horse, a lot of that has to do, one, with a brace, and two, that too many people do flexion with just the head, right? And the importance of not doing that is I need my reins to always mean the motor of the horse, not the head. The head has nothing to do with how they move, okay? The head is a direct reflection of how you use the body. Very nice. Okay, moving on from there, right? This becomes a dance, okay? When I close doors, right, meaning I'm closing this door, I'm opening, right, that right side door. It's going to send the hip through there, right? So I send the hip through that door. Then I send the chest through that door. Send the hip. Send the chest. Okay? Good horsemanship is about opening and closing doors always. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background on this horse as well. She is in primarily because she had bucked her owner off a few times. It is not the owner's fault. It's not the horse's fault. Just kind of a bad mixture in the beginning. The owner has done a great job, but is still learning a lot of the basic skills for horsemanship. And this horse is young, right? She's a 6-year-old. She's got a lot to learn. She's got a lot to learn. And that's fluidity, right? That's her following my balance. But she's got a lot to learn. So our goal here is for this horse, as much as possible, right, in a short time period, to find these balance points, become fluid with people, and understand that there's language here, right? That every time someone's around her, she doesn't need to just expect being exercised and run around in circles and kicked on and pulled on, right? We want them to understand that being around humans is not a bad deal. And there's language here. You're doing great, sweetheart, huh? But again, guys, right? Opening doors, closing doors. That is good horsemanship. Okay. Something important to mention is they have to understand the difference between when you are asking for movement and not. Right? So I may walk at the chest here. She doesn't move because I'm presenting my body different, right? When I walk up here, I go to pet. She knows I don't need her to move. Okay? When I ask her to move, she can feel the difference in my body. Okay? So be introspective. Think about how to present your body to a horse when it means and has intention and when it doesn't. Hopefully you guys can hear us all right with the wind. But yeah, she's still learning this stuff, right? She's only been here, I want to say, for a few weeks, maybe a month, somewhere around that. And like I said, the owner and her were just kind of not seeing eye to eye. You know, she would get tight, owner would come off. And, you know, that makes you a little bit intimidated of your horse, or can, understandably. And sometimes you just need someone to help you kind of get back in line, which is okay. More about this horse, though. As you can see, she's just a little bit short. Nothing terrible, but she has a pretty severe hairline injury on that right front, and is essentially growing additional hoof wall. So a lot of that has to some degree an impact on her movement, and also the distortion in which her feet are growing. So she does need essentially some foot rehabbing, which we are addressing. And she had some pretty severe dental issues, big hooks on her corner incisors, so she wasn't able to slide those jaws to grind food properly. But that, along with the feet, has resulted in some degree of discomfort. Nothing major, but things that we do want to get going in the right direction so that she continues to have good experiences with people. So we've addressed everything and all of that since she's been here, and we are sending the owner home with the contacts for the farrier and the dentist, so that she can continue a lot of this stuff. But it's probably going to take these feet a full cycle, a year, to get back on track. But just part of the process, right? You guys need to do what's right for the horse, not what is right necessarily for your pocketbook, as hard as that is to hear. Okay, I'm going to show one more exercise before we get to the riding portion, and that is going to be basically sending the horse around you, changing direction, shifting to the hindquarter, and stepping over. The reason this matters is I'm asking the horse to work both eyes and also continue to follow instruction while moving. So if your horse is tight or has any amount of brace or worry in them, this will bring it out. So I'm going to bump, push her over. Okay? I'm going to bump, push her over. Okay? The reason I'm bumping is this symbolizes my rein, right? I tug my left rein, turn, and then I open the door and push her through it. Okay? You can see here, both my hands are open. I'm not yanking on this horse. I'm not smacking her. I'm not tugging on her. This is me creating language with this horse here. Oh. That is the exercise I would recommend for most horse owners. If you are dealing with a horse and you're a little worried that they're a little amped up, a little fresh, whatever it may be, that will get any issue out of them, as far as I'm concerned, that you need to see or get rid of, right? If they've got something deep down in there, that usually brings it out. So that'll help kind of get some of that fresh off if you need to. But for me and all my horses in training, the way that I handle before getting on them, right? I don't want to have to lunge before I get on. All I'm going to do is that. And if they cross over slowly, we're getting on. Okay? Because that is them telling me, here are the keys to the ignition, right? I'm putting the engine in neutral. Here's the keys. You can drive. Okay? So very important. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the riding portion, guys. We're going to ride this horse in a halter. When the owner gets his horse home, and like a lot of you guys out there, depending on your riding level, you do not necessarily need to ride in a halter if you're training a horse. You know, that's just kind of how I do things. if I get an older horse that's having some issues with the owners, I always go back to a halter. I'm a hackamore man. I love riding hackamores. So the second best thing, if it's not a hackamore horse, is the halter. But if you need to put your horse in a snaffle when you go home, there's no shame in that. If your horse can ride in a halter, they dang sure can ride in a snaffle. So yes, halters are great. So if you have the hands and understand how to, I would definitely recommend that. Dylan, if you want to come in here, guys, let's talk about how to get on a horse safely, okay? So this horse, one of the times she got the owner off, she went to swing on and the horse just kind of walked forward. She got imbalanced and then pitched her off. So the way you prevent that is stay by this front leg, okay? You're gonna have your left rein slightly shorter. And when you go to get on, I'm gonna turn my stirrup here, okay? And when you're in this position, right, in front of that leg, you're in a very athletic position. It's hard for that horse to get you thrown back. You know what I mean? Okay, guys, we're on the first thing I want to cover is riding posture. So there's a few different ways you can ride, but in a nutshell, depending on the age of the horse, what you're doing, you want to feel almost like your feet are flat in your stirrups. If you see, you'll see a lot of Western riders riding like this, right? Heels way down. That means you have way too much pressure in your calf here, and your legs are essentially starting to mean nothing to your horse. I like pressure in my calf to mean something, right? That's essentially me putting my legs on. So I want almost no pressure in my legs. Well, really none. And just barely touch a weight in my heel there. So you can see I'm basically flat-footed here, and then just slight amount of my heel there, okay? That is the riding posture I'm looking for below the knee, okay? Ideally, you want to have your shoulder, hip, and heel in a line. For me, I like having my heel just slightly forward of that, okay? I like being just a touch back and then using my upper body to lean forward, lean back, etc. But where we're going to start here, now that you guys have the riding posture, is the 3 leg positions. So if you guys are trying to teach your horses any type of lateral movement, moving the forelimb, moving the hindquarter, the way that you're going to do it is this. So for any horse, when I'm first teaching this, I'm going to take take my leg back. I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to bump this inside rein. So what that's going to look like is this. Good, and she steps over, okay? If you need to in the beginning, you can start bumping, you can jiggle that leg a little bit, you can cluck, create a little energy. But you want this horse eventually to understand just using that leg shifts that hindquarter over, okay? We don't have this horse for an extended period of time, so she's going to get as good as she possibly can. But when you do this on a finished horse, essentially what it's going to look like is you're just going to put your leg on. If you guys have seen me ride Hazel, you just put your leg on and they'll dance in a circle, right? Shifting that hindquarter around. Moving on, and I'll go ahead and do some of this at a walk here in a moment, but moving the forequarter. The way that I would initially go about teaching this, and this is how we turn horses, okay? But if I'm walking, I'm going to put my right leg forward and on when I feel this inside left leg coming off the ground. So my timing would be my right leg forward and on, release, on, release, my right leg on, release, my right leg on, release, my right leg on, release, on, release. And you could see this limb is taking a step as I'm releasing. Eventually what this horse will figure out, and I'll start doing good circles here, essentially what this horse will start figuring out is that that leg means stepping with her left leg. Okay, so here we go. My right leg, on, release, on, release, on, release. Forward, please. So we'll go straight here, and we'll start turning when I put my leg on, release, on, release, on, release, on, release, on, release. Oh, so that was pretty nice there. But that's going to be your basics of how you step that forequarter over. This is hopefully a great video for some of you guys, because a lot of the horses that we put out videos for, are a little bit more trained, a little bit more finished, or just riding colts, right? This is kind of in between. This is not a green horse, but a horse that just doesn't know much. And this is just really good stuff to film that hopefully is productive for you guys. So the next phase of this, right, once you understand that that's how you step those forequarters over, you could start to push it a little bit more and making sure that she understands, or whatever horse you're on understands, by backing him up, putting the leg on, and stepping that shoulder over, right? So my outside leg always needs to mean her inside front leg, right? So when I put this up and on, she needs to take a step, right? Like you just saw with that front left leg, okay? And that's gonna be both directions, right? So you're pushing that limb over, if that makes sense. Okay guys, for our third leg position, I'm gonna show you essentially where your leg hangs is gonna signal straight lateral movement to a horse. At least ideally, that's what I'm looking for. And how that's going to work is take your horse in the beginning. What I'll do with some of these horses that maybe don't know quite too much is I'll just keep them at a slow walk here. And she's done this a little bit, but all I'm going to do is put my inside leg on where it hangs. My calf is going to press against her rib cage. I'm going to pick up both reins almost as a half halt. And then she's going to shift out. Just like that, okay? We'll do it again. Just like that. Oh. That was really nice. Briefly talk about is how to use your reins correctly. So when we go forward, I lean forward, right? I can wiggle both my legs at the same time, but I'm not going to squeeze or kick for forward, okay? And I'm going to put my reins forward to signal forward, okay? The way that we use our reins to steer is individually, okay? So my hands are here, bubble is in front of my hands. If I need to turn left without my leg, I tug, give it back, tug, give it back, tug, give it back, tug, give it back, okay? You can see that horse turn. That is very, very rudimentary how to use your reins, okay? What I'm not gonna do is just turn and hold ever, right? This is undoing training. I'm ashamed of myself for even doing that, right? Okay, this teaches. Bump, give it back, bump, give it back. Disengage the hip, bump. Okay, that is how you teach a horse, right? We're always tug, give it back, tug, give it back, okay? I want to cover the backup now. And basically how this is going to look, if I'm sitting on my pockets, I'm totally dead energy-wise in my core. I'm just kind of slumped down. When I ask for a backup, I'm going to come alive in my core, feet come forward, and I look up, right? You could see that whole energy happen, right? It's, okay? And I'm going to pick up the slack of my rein. What that looks like is I would come to about here. Look at that horse rock back. I would come to about there and still have drape in this rein here, okay? So how this is gonna look is just like this. And again. And again. And again. Okay, that is how you back up your horse. Up next, I want to cover the stop. And what that's going to look like is when you're walking with your horse, I want you to sit back, feet come forward. You're going to look up beyond your pockets, okay? Your body is essentially going to die energy-wise, okay? So when we're riding, we're in this upright position, right? When I stop, okay? I'm here, riding. Oh, okay? I'm coming back on my pockets. My core energy is dying. My feet are coming forward and I'm looking slightly up, okay? I'm gonna pick up the slack of my rein there to stop. The horse doesn't listen. I'm going to tug one rein up and then the other rein up if she still hasn't stopped. Okay, then I'm going to back up softly with just picking up the weight of the rein. What that looks like put together is this. Whoa. Okay. Okay guys, I'm just going to show you real quick the getting off process, how to do that safely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back my left foot out of my stirrup just barely to the toe there. Okay. I'm going to take my right foot out. I'm going to swing off, kick both legs out, be laying on the saddle, and jump down. The reason that is, in the beginning, right, I want people just getting going with horses to do this, is the longer your feet are in the stirrup, like if I get off and stand on the ground with my right leg and this leg is still in the stirrup, if that horse spooks or jumps forward, there's a potential I get this foot stuck in that stirrup and I'm getting drugged, okay? So you're very vulnerable when you're getting on and off a horse, obviously. So I want to do it in the safest possible way that I can. Okay, so I'm going to be here. I'm going to have my left rein slightly shorter, back my toe out, my right leg's out, swing out, kick my leg, come down. Okay, if you are just getting into horses, somewhat novice, learning a lot of this stuff, again, in the fundamental phase, that is a great way for you to get off your horse. That's just something that's going to keep you safe and minimize the chance you get hung up. Well guys, I think we'll call it on that for this horse. Again, I just wanted to put a little short video together for you guys, for the owner in particular, that she can kind of go back to, see some of the basics of riding posture, how to use your legs, how to use your hands, some of the groundwork stuff, the tacking, the safety tips, just kind of horsemanship 101, and show you on a horse that is still learning this stuff, to give you kind of an honest representation of how it looks. But as always, guys, if you have questions, comments, leave them below. We'll get back to you. Hopefully this is beneficial for you guys working with you know, horses that need some of this stuff and are just getting started. Yeah, hopefully this is going to help you guys out there. And for my client, hopefully this is going to be a great video that she can kind of look back at. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you don't subscribe already, click subscribe, click like, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.